Hello students, I am Vijayata, Assistant Professor from Postgraduate Teaching Department of Law, Nagpur University. I have prepared this video in order to discuss the human rights before 1945. Basically, in this video, we are going to discuss the events that has been took place before the establishment of 1945. We have already seen the concept and the sources of human rights. We have seen till the First Geneva Convention 1864. In this video, we are going to discuss the events that has been took place from 17th century onwards. In 17th century, the principle of natural law and natural rights acquired a new dimension. Until then, it was limited within the boundaries of the states, where other state has no right to intervene in the relationship between a state and its subject. In the 17th century, Grotius, the Dutch philosopher, internationalized the concept of natural law and natural rights in his famous work De Jure Belli Ac Pacis, that is, on the law of war and peace. Grotius laid down the principle that when the sovereign of a state continuously damaging basic human rights and fundamental rights of its citizen or its subject, it was considered as an international problem. He also stated that such an arbitrary rule will lost his rights as a sovereign under the law of nations. At that time, there was no such principle that the states would interfere in the relationship of the other states and its subject. Rather, it was considered as its internal matter. Other states could only simply express the protest in the case of gross violation of human rights and fundamental freedom in the other state. Grotius' work became very famous, and subsequently Oppenheim also pointed out that the science of modern law of nations commences from the Grotius work, because in his work he built a system of international law as an independent branch of science of law. The next event that took place in 1926, that is the Slavery Convention. The Slavery Convention was made in order to abolish the slavery system. In this convention, the human rights of the labor were recognized. The establishment of the International Labour Organization in 1990 were also increased the human right movement. It also recommended various provisions to protect the human rights of labor. The next event was in the 1919, where the post-World War I, that the Covenant of League of Nations. The Covenant of League of Nations basically is silent regarding the issues of human rights. However, it contained the protection of minorities, the provisions on the protection of minorities. It made certain provision to respect the human rights of the subject under the mandate system. However, the promotion and the protection of human rights was based upon the domestic law of the state. League of Nations, which was established in 1920 through the Treaty of Versailles of 1919, the Covenant of the Nation, the League of Nations, was silent on human rights, but it contained the provision regarding the protection of the rights of minorities, that is the subject under the mandate system. It made certain provision to respect the human rights of the people under the mandate system. Article 22, basically the Article 22 of the Covenant laid down the principle that the well-being and the development of the people in the mandated territories formed a sacred trust of civilization, and that the mandatory power should administer these territories under the conditions which will guarantee freedom of conscience and religion and prohibition of abuses such as slave trade. It was provided that the mandate system is supposed to submit the annual report to the League of Nations in this regard. The next event that took place was in the year 1929. That is the proclamation issued by the Institute of International Law. This proclamation, this Institute of International Law, was a first private organization. Its members are elected from the scholars of international law in Europe, America, and Asia. It issued a proclamation of the rights of a man against the state. This institute did not declare the rights of the man, but it prescribed the duties of the state, of every state. For example, it is a duty of every state to recognize the equal rights of every individual to life, liberty, and property, and to accord to all within its territory full entire protection of this right without any kind of a distinction. It also laid down the duties of every state to recognize the right of every individual to free practice of every faith of religion or belief, or it is a duty of every state to recognize the right of every individual both to use the language of his choice and teaching of such language, etc. This shows that the proclamation has not declared the human rights of the citizen of the man, but it imposes a duty on the state to protect and preserve the human rights of the individual without any kind of discrimination. The next event that took place in the year 1941, that was the Atlantic Charter, which was prepared by the Prime Minister of England, Mr. Winston Churchill, and President of the USA, Franklin D. Roosevelt. This charter was prepared when they met in the ship in the Atlantic Ocean. They jointly made a declaration, which was also called as the Atlantic Charter. Since the declaration, because the declaration was made, was issued in the Atlantic Ocean when they met in the ship. Therefore, this is called as the Atlantic Charter 1941. In this charter, they promised to make the efforts to end Nazism. They laid down the principle of universal peace, collective cooperation, equality of nations, and prohibition of acquiring the territory via conquest. They also recognized the respect for the right of the people to choose the form of government under which they live, or they wish to see sovereign rights or self-government restored to those who have been forcibly deprived of them. The next event that took place in the year 1942, which is also called as the United Nations Declaration, which was signed on the Grand Military Alliance, which is also known as the United Nations Declaration, which came in 1st January 1942 at Washington. It was signed by Winston Churchill of Britain, President Roosevelt of America, Maxim of Russia, and T.V. Soong of China. In this declaration, the principle of Atlantic Charter was solemnly reaffirmed. It was the first declaration where the human right, the expression human right, was used in black and white. So this declaration basically gave the way to the human right expression. In the declaration, the signatory states pledged to render cooperation with the government signatory and undertook the obligation that they would not enter into any separate treaty or agreement with the enemies. So all these events that has been took place before the 1945. Basically, see the last slide, that is the United Nations Declaration, which was in 1942, and after that the United Nations was established. So this gave way to the human rights, the expression human right to be used for the first time in the black and white form, and which we have seen in the United Nations Declaration 1942. So in this way, the formation of United Nations also took place. In the next video, we are going to discuss the United Nations Charter and reflection of human rights in United Nations Charter. Thank you.